Hi there.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's very early.
It is. It's about 9 a.m.,
Yeah.
but we're doing it. Hi, everybody. I'm Laurel Eckert. I own Glow by Laurel in East Hanover. I'm a small business owner, and I'm here talking to the Lime Media.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. Your suite is so cute.
Thank you so much.
So tell us like where you're from, like where'd you go to school, like all that kind of
Right.
stuff.
Well, I am from Ledgewood, so about 30 minutes down the road. But
Nice.
it's funny, you come to East Hanover, and it kind of seems like the area where I'm far enough away from Roxbury and like Ledgewood, or I tell people that, and they're like, I'm not sure where that is. But yeah, I'm from up there. And I opened my business about 3 years ago. I chose East Hanover just because it was one of the first places where at the time I was able to open with my licensing. So I opened here, and it's been an awesome 3 years.
Nice. Wait, so the license, it's not for like the whole
So
New Jersey?
for New Jersey, to open your own business as an esthetician, you need to be licensed for a minimum of 3 years to be an experienced professional licensure, I believe is the correct term.
Wow.
So I tried to open it when I had my license for 2 full years, but they were like, no, unfortunately you can't. So I had to kind of wait another year, build up, and then get my plan together. And then I finally opened it 1 year later.
Cool. So
Wow.
did you do like any of this starting in high school, or was this something that you kind of figured out like after
so
you graduated?
I went to a vocational school in high school. I went to the Denville Vocational School for cosmetology for hair. I tried my best. I tell all my clients that it is a favor to everybody that I didn't get my cosmetology license because I was horrible at doing hair. But in there they did about like a small 2-week type of time where we did facials specifically, and I kind of just like fell in love from then. That was like my peanut butter and jelly, or bread and butter. Is that what they say? I'm not good with
Guess
slogans.
either. In high school, like how did you know, or I guess like what I want to know is how did you know that like you wanted to go into like a vocational program? Because when I was in high school, I feel like that was never like brought up to me, like, oh, like you can
Definitely.
do something like creative or go and
Do something that was out of the
Yeah.
ordinary.
Yeah,
So
like-
I was never a great student. I was never
Okay.
like getting the straight A's, or I didn't love being in school. I never liked reading and
Yeah.
writing books and stuff like that. So for me, I was always a very hands-on person. I loved art class. I loved talking to people. I was very like definitely not the greatest student in class. People would tell me to be quiet and stuff. But once they opened up the option for vocational schools, I don't remember how it was honestly brought up, but I just knew that I wanted to do something different. And also as like a 15-year-old, I was like, I can get out of this high school, get me
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah.
So I chose to do that. And I ended up meeting a lot of people because they kind of collect people from all over. It depends on what kind of county, I believe what county you're in, what
Okay.
vocational school you can go to. But I met people from Jefferson Township, and it really opened up a lot of people that I still connect with to this day. Like my hairstylist, I knew her since high
Yeah.
school, and it's really amazing to keep up with people like that. I feel like back then, there's still kind of this air of like vocational schools are for the not great at schools kids. I say not great at school. You can tell I was not great at school. It's that kind of thing where there's almost this like, I don't want to say prejudice, but almost like a black cloud over going to a vocational school because they see like mechanics, and there are all these amazing trade jobs that you can do, but
it's
they're
not the traditional route.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you're not like going to college. like,
exactly.
you're in this different.
Yeah, I did not
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
college. That was not my jive. I tried, I applied, and I didn't get in, and then I was like, okay, well, for a while that kind of goes into like starting my like working career. I went to vocational school, and I didn't get my license. I didn't finish with my cosmetology license. So
Really?
yeah, I was just, like I said, I was not good at hair. So when it came to that, you do the written test, and then you do the practical test. And when it came to that practical test, I just like was not my jam. I have as you guys just saw, a little bit of anxiety. I kind of deal with that. So when it comes down to like kind of important
test
situations,
taking and-
yes, I was never the one to ace the test. I was always freaking out. So for me, when it came to hair, I knew it wasn't going to be what I finished with. I kind of knew it. You almost have that gut feeling.
Yeah.
And then I graduated high school. And there was a big pause in my life where I was just working at an Exxon gas station. I was not doing a lot. And my
Okay.
parents kind of said, like, if you're not going to go to college, you got to do something. So I was like, okay. And then I thought back, I was like, I really enjoyed doing facials. And I was like, let me see if there's something I can do with just facials. Like, I don't want to have to deal with hair. I don't want to have to do it. So I went and got my aesthetics license.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of a journey, but yeah, it was fun.
Do you feel like you immediately like clicked, whereas like when you did hair, it was like, oh, I don't really like this?
Yeah,
kind
there
of
wasn't
thing?
a doubt in my mind that like it was what I wanted to do, because when I was in cosmetology school, and this probably played a big factor, was that like being in high school, there were all these stressors, but when it came down to doing a facial, like they dimmed the lights. I was just with one person, like looking at them. They weren't talking to me. I didn't have to force a conversation, and it felt natural. It just kind of all happened, and I knew right then, like, this is what I want to do.
That's great.
Yeah, it was very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the school system is really not designed for like anyone who doesn't fit like that one
Definitely
mold.
not, no.
And I experienced that with my sister because she really was not a good student, and I feel like it really dimmed her confidence a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And it made her feel like she was not able to like do something in her life.
I totally agree.
Which is so sad, because there's so much more to just going to college and getting a degree.
Everybody
and
has
doing that.
potential. Like whether or not you're book smart, if you're street smart, if you're common sense smart, it doesn't matter. Everybody has a potential to do something that gives them passion. Like I find, even if it's just somebody coming in for a basic facial, like I feel passionate about helping them and making them feel good once they leave this room. That's like to its core what I want to do.
Yeah. Did you like starting off know in your mind like, oh, I want this to be like I'm starting a business, or was it like I just like this? And did you start working for someone initially?
So yeah, we can start with like I guess my career, because if I talk about like me starting my business, it's kind of just a mess. It was COVID. It was so crazy. So like I said, I worked at an Exxon gas station, and then my parents were like, hey girl, you got to do something. I was like, I totally get it. I then applied to a school in New York, which was kind of like, you know, big city dreams. I was like, I'll get my aesthetics license in New York. I'll go live there. That too expensive. No. So I transferred my license to New Jersey, and it's very hard in the industry to get a job right away when you don't have the experience.
Okay.
It's kind of changed now, because now the licensing is a little bit different, where you have to have a mentor to kind of sign off on what you're doing. I don't know all the specifics, so if I'm wrong, please, anybody listening, go crazy. But I believe now, with the way COVID was, they couldn't do the practical testing, so they had to have somebody say, yes, this person knows enough, they can go ahead and work on people, and that's how you would get your license.
Makes sense.
Graduated, and I got my license and all that, and it's very difficult because people don't know if you have the experience, which is understandable, but how will you know? I think that's a big thing that's got to change in the industry, is how will you know if they have the skills? Why don't you teach them the skills? But I ended up getting a job at a Sephora. I worked at the Rockaway JCP Sephora. It was awesome. Everybody was super nice, and I learned a lot of skills for makeup and texturing and things like that, and a lot of the Sephora skincare, that knowledge still helps me to this day with these clients. Yeah. And then from there, I went to a Hand and Stone. So I was directly working and doing facials and things like that. I was doing front desk for a while. So a lot of the jobs that I've had have helped me build skills to where I am today. Like, yeah, Sephora didn't have any skincare, but I was doing a lot for retail. I was learning how to sell to people, which is a big part of this industry. Whether a lot of estheticians like it, you do have to sell. A lot of people think it's just coming in and giving people self-care, but you do have to drive your own business.
And it's customer service.
Exactly.
It's customer facing. So you have to know how to interact with someone,
much customer
how
service.
to recommend things to someone, how to talk to someone. Like, it's all part of it.
And then from there, I went to a Hand and Stone, and I worked doing facials for a while. I believe I worked there for about 3 years. Ended pretty tumultuously. Me and the manager just didn't kind of get along. We butt heads a lot, and I think that's a big drive on why I wanted to start my own business. I'm kind of I don't want to say like a firecracker, but I'll say like I have my own way of going about things, and a way of doing things that I am a little bit stubborn, I will say, and I don't like to change the way I do things. So for me, it was kind of like an easy answer. I'm going to eventually own my own business. That was kind of always the goal in the back of my head. From a Hand and Stone, then I went to a waxing in the city. So from facials, I ended up kind of moving to hone in on my waxing skills. So I kind of offer a one-stop shop. I do facials and I do full body waxing. So for me, it was kind of another stepping stone. Nice. And then from there, I was actually listening to your last episode, and your the Margot, I believe it was. Yeah, she mentioned how the FTC no longer has non-competes. So that was a big factor on why I lost my last job with the waxing in the city, because It might have been a personal preference, but
Okay.
a lot of the time, if I'm waxing here, they don't want me waxing there because it's competitive. But for me, I had a job there, so why would I take my clients? And a lot of it, that's how a lot of estheticians think. So the FTC taking away non-competes is a really great thing. It's really, really positive. It just, when she was talking about that, I was like, oh my God, yeah, it does affect a lot of other industries.
Wait, so can you explain that? Because we were talking about it, and when she said it, I think I understood what she said, but like I couldn't really like understand how it was beneficial to.
Yeah, so with the FTC, a lot of the time they were it allowed businesses to say, okay, you can take this job here, but for say 2 years and for 30 miles, you can't work doing waxing. You can't work doing facials.
Okay.
And considering I'm a trade person, what else am I supposed to do?
Yeah. Wait, so after you leave,
Yes,
or like while
there
you
are
work?
some technical. This was not under with the waxing in the city. She was very, very sweet. I loved my managers in the past. Like I say, I was let go. All of my managers were very, very sweet. Just in case you listen to this, loved you all. With the FTC, it kind of it gave the businesses, like I said, freedom to create their own kind of contract and say like it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, it could be, that's probably excessive, but it could be whatever they want to say. You can't work in this industry because our clients might leave and go to you, which is fair enough. They're their own people. But when it comes to people who have a specific line of work where I can't just go and get I could get an office job. I don't have the skills for it. I don't think I would get hired immediately, but I could, but it would take a lot away from my career and what I love to do. So the FTC taking that away is just a big win for a lot of different industries. I mean, like you said, like her with the fitness industry, me with the aesthetics, it's amazing across the board.
That is great.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. I think it allows like people to really advance in their career. Like if they want to leave and go off on their own.
Definitely.
Or switch to a different, like, you know, company or something like that. Because it's like you said.
And that's
like,
how people grow.
Away.
Exactly. That's how people grow in the industry. Like even if you're not in this industry, I don't know if like they do it in like real estate or things like that, but even if you move along and another job is offering you more pay, like you can't take that. That's how people advance in careers. It's just crazy that they allowed that, and now I'm glad that it's gone. Woohoo.
That is really cool. I definitely want to look into that more. So I guess also talk about once you decided, like in your mind, like, okay, I want to go off on my own. What was that like? Like, how did you do your research on like where you are now? And like,
I did absolutely no research. Don't be like me. So it's kind of funny. I'm going to send this podcast to my friends after, and I'm going to be talking about one of my friends. I think it was 2020, July 2020, that this place was like, hey, we're opening. Do you want to set up a meeting? And I was like, sure. Set up a Zoom call. And being I was like 22, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. Because it's been 3 years now. I'm not great at math. Like I said, I didn't go to college or anything. That's biggest struggle is math. But I opened my business talked to them in July 2020 about it. And my friend was sleeping next to me because, of course, like I was 22 years old, had just gone out the night before, and I woke up to my phone ringing, and I was like, oh my God, I have a Zoom call. Woke up, I got on the Zoom call, and I like said yes to everything. I hung up the phone, and my friend woke up next to me, and she was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I think I'm opening a business. Like, that's exactly how it went. And it kind of I kind of had to figure everything out from there, and not the best thing, but not the worst thing. I mean, I've definitely learned a lot of lessons, but I've also learned to do things your own way. I think that's very important. I feel like in this day and age with Instagram, with all of the things that we're kind of being shown every day, it's very easy to compare yourself to other people.
Totally.
So comparing my journey from how I started my business to someone else's would be crazy. It would be apples to oranges. It's so different. Like with Margot, she's like, I created my business plan for 5 years. I was like, oh, they're in for something so different today. Like that's not what I did at all. I just kind of, during COVID, they were doing the what are they called? I can't think of it. Where they would pay like $1,600 or whatever it was.
Yeah, like the money. Money back.
I can't remember what it is.
I just stipend. I forgot
yes,
what
the
they
stipend.
call it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I just saved that. I didn't spend it. I saved a lot of it up, so I had a good amount to start my business with. Since I kind of was just working, I wasn't doing a lot. I wasn't going on vacations because the world's shut down. So for me, I was just saving all this money up, and I ended up just being like, okay, well, I have this money. Why don't I just open a business with it? And I did. And of course, like there have been struggles. It's been riding a wave. I was at the start of my business. I was in a relationship and it was going well, and then it was kind of like it got to a point where he wanted to do something else and I was already building ground here, but it was kind of like he wanted to run away and I was like, I'm starting something here. I can't. So that kind of ended. And then from there it's just been, I've just really been focusing on my business, building everything up and just trying to make it what I want it to be, what I've always dreamed it to be. And that's really all you can do is just come in day in and day out and give your best.
Yeah, it is like really tough in the beginning because even for me, I can just speak on like how you, like, I don't know anything about like laws or like like your LLC and like taxes and stuff like that, where it's like you have to learn all of that as a business owner, and it's not going to happen in the first year or the second year, and you have to just figure things out, and you sometimes lose money because you don't know certain things. Yeah. And it's tough. It really is hard, but as you do it more and you talk to more people and you connect with people, and it just becomes easier and easier.
Exactly. You take their lessons that they've learned and you're like, oh, maybe that'll happen to me, and you just try to remember little things.
Yeah, I mean, because it's nice, like starting a business, like, oh, so glamorous, like, oh, you own your own business, and it's like, no, like there's so much that goes into it behind the scenes, and it really is tough, but like it's yours, and it's like it makes you want to work at it like even more. So that's like the rewarding part of it. I'm curious, like, how you get clients. Like, did you, like, what was that progression like, going from like working for a business to now like having to reach out to people and find people? Or was that just like a slow growth, or did you have people that you kind of brought over?
So it was definitely slow. I would love to say I had people that came over and followed me, but like I said, I left in a very abrupt fashion, where at my last job, where I kind of, came to a head. I was again young, and I of course think about it nowadays, and I'm like, God, why did I burned so many bridges almost, that I'm like, why would I talk to somebody that way? It was very tumultuous, but that ended, and it was very quick, so I wasn't able to, and even then I had a non-compete, so I couldn't reach out to my clients and say, hey, I opened my own place, would you like to come and get a facial? But there were a few who it gave me like a little bit of an extra boost in the beginning, because there were people who like Googled me, and like I wasn't at work, so they were like, where is she? Like, I know her name, let me see where she is. And of course I'm smart enough, and named Glow by Laurel, so they knew where I was, they could find me. And there were a few, I'll say maybe like 5, but that was it. I really started with nothing, and I had to build up, and I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. But then again, like, I want to say, like, if you feel like you can do it and you're not going to give up, like, just do it, because everyone's going to tell you, like, make sure you have a book, make sure you have it built up, but sometimes you just can't. Like, like I said, going into the industry like a hand in stone, like, they don't want to hire people without experience. So you kind of just have to build your own experience. Like, you have to get people in, you have to drive that way. As for getting new clients, I honestly don't remember how I did it. I think I ran a Groupon for a while, but then Groupon is not good. Honestly, it's a scam. No, I just find that they take, because it's like you discount your service 50%. That's already losing some profit, and then they take a profit of it. So you're getting maybe $20 out of like $100 service.
That's just like your cost, pretty much.
Exactly. It just makes absolutely no sense. So I did get maybe 1 or 2 clients, but nothing that stuck. For me, it was really like, honestly, the ladies here helped me a little bit, because they were well established. All of the ladies here came from, I believe, one specific salon, and then they all kind of separated here. But they've been giving me that extra boost that I need, and a lot of word of mouth. That is the biggest thing. And people can say that Instagram and all of the social media platforms can help you get all the clients, but there's nothing that beats word of mouth. Hearing from a friend that this person, I loved this treatment I got, I feel so good. Like, you trust your friend. So word of mouth, Google reviews, those are the biggest things that have helped me, honestly. Like, I have on all of my intake forms, it says, how were you referred? And a lot of them say Google, a lot of them say word of mouth. And it's just because people trust that. People trust a real person telling them, not just an Instagram post. And I do have very good branding. I do have good branding on Instagram. I can't take credit for any of that. I would like to give a shout out to content.cc. I believe it is. It's Cecilia. She is amazing. If anybody, she's great. I don't work with her currently, but she was amazing for content, because I found that as a small business owner, there are certain things that you have to take off your plate. It gets to a point where you're saying, I can't do this. I'm getting way too overwhelmed. I'm not making time for myself. I'm not making time for my business properly. So I need someone else to handle this. So for a while, I had her handling it because I needed to build it up. I needed to get that good branding look because if you looked at my personal Instagram, I haven't posted on Instagram since last May just because I'm not a big social media person. So for me, doing my business Instagram was just another chore on top of it. For me, it's always been like just truly word of mouth and Google reviews. Honestly, that's the biggest way I got clients when I started.
Nice. That's amazing.
Can you tell us a little bit about your services and kind of like what most people like to
so I think I might be a little different with the way I do things here, but typically I feel like when you go to a facial studio or you go to get a facial, they're asking you, do you want a hydrating facial? Do you want a brightening facial? I don't do that in the way that I have people book a customized facial. So every single facial, no matter who comes in, you're getting it fully customized. Like if you need hydration, you're getting it. I feel that if we put too much of, I don't want to say the power, but too much of the influence in the client's hands, they're going to be looking from Instagram, looking from TikTok. I have dark marks, I have lines, I have all of this stuff, when really like their skin's in a good condition. But if you're looking at yourself day in and day out, comparing yourself to these people who have beauty filters and all of this stuff, you're going to come in and ask me for everything under the sun, which probably I'm not able to do because your skin might not be able to handle it. There are certain things where you have to leave it in your esthetician's hands. So for me, having people book customized facials, and then I decide behind the chair, and of course I explain everything to them. This is what I'm going to be using, this is what we'll be doing. It's much easier for me, and I find it's much easier for the client. It takes a lot of weight off their shoulders besides thinking. No one wants to come into a relaxing space already thinking about what might be, I hate using the word wrong, but what's wrong with their skin, the concerns they have. No one wants that. They want to come in and say, okay, this person's going to handle it. And I feel like that kind of adds that extra layer of relaxation when they walk in here. And typically the room isn't this bright. It's very like relaxing and zen, yellow colors, bright reds, things like that. But I find that it takes a little bit off of their shoulders. So I do customized facials, so everybody gets something very unique to themselves. I do, I like to say that I'm not all the bells and whistles. I do a lot of mechanical with my hands. I do a lot of massaging. A big part of my like core of my facials is making sure that the client has an hour, 2 hours, however long they're here, for themselves. They're not thinking about anything but themselves, that they are relaxed, they can sleep, they can chat, I can talk the whole time if they want to, but it's about them. It's all about their skin, it's about their relaxation, it's about their wellness overall.
And that's really special to be able to create that kind of environment for someone.
Oh yeah.
Like it is hard to do, and like the fact that you're able to like bring that to them is like so nice. And I love that, like that's also showing like trust to them, because you're like saying like, I'm the expert, like let me just take care of you kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
it's
I think
very
that's
sweet.
so nice. But yeah, that's amazing. And then you also do waxing, right?
Yes, I do full body waxing.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, I do a lot of waxing. It's definitely fun. It's definitely a workout some days, but I do enjoy it, because I mean, when you see somebody being like, look how glowy my legs are, look at, like, I wax my arms, they're not waxed right now, but I do, and I love like just the glowiness, little shimmeriness. I feel like just like a little fairy. Feels lighter.
That's awesome. And then I guess maybe speak on like any like certain brands or like products that you really like, or like do you take like a specific approach with like different like therapies or anything else like outside of just like the facial?
So when it comes to like products I use, I kind of, specifically in the room, I use Dermalogica skincare. I swear by them. That's what I learned in school. I also love Image skincare, a few little shout outs. When it comes to like the skincare that I use in the suite, it's a little different. The first products I'll always recommend are Dermalogica, but of course we have a lot of people with different, I don't know,
like budgets, or
yes,
just
like
budgets,
skin, budgets
concerns
for skin concerns, budgets, everything like that. Plays a factor when somebody comes into my room. How often they're washing their face, what their lifestyle is like, that all plays a huge factor on how I'm gonna recommend to somebody. So if somebody comes in and tells me like, I work out 6 times a week and I don't wash my face at night, I'm not gonna recommend like 8 different products for them, because they're clearly not the kind of person who wants to take that extra step. Like a lot of skincare is all about the person. If that person is the type of person who even wants to do a 5-step skincare routine, some people just want a simple one and done. So you have to work with people. That's a big thing.
I can't even get him to wash his face.
Exactly. Like it's tough sometimes.
He's like maybe no, I'm not doing it. Sometimes
I do it like
every other day.
Sometimes in the shower, but also sometimes I forget though.
He forgets. He has 1 step in the shower. His 3-in-1.
I know men always have like really good skin.
And
though.
he has perfect skin.
Yes,
and
always.
I have like 100 steps, and I
always
have
very
a pimple
moisturized,
on my
always
face.
very shiny. Yes,
yeah.
It's how it always is. But under all that, you'll see a little congestion. I will say there's
true.
probably some blackheads.
Yeah,
that's how it is. You got to find things that
wrinkles.
work. Yes, that's what everybody wants. The no wrinkles. They all want that, and it's definitely doable with people. But skincare is tough. Skincare is tough in the way that it has to match that person's lifestyle. Because I mean, I have clients who are like, I have closets full of this stuff. I have bathrooms full of stuff. I don't want to buy any new products. And I'm like, totally, bring in what you have and let's work with that first. Like, I'm never going to encourage people to go out and spend $400 on a brand new skincare routine when they have a lot of tools that can help them at home. That's just, it does not make sense to me. And I feel like a lot of the time, like, as business owners, some people lose that. They lose the point that we're helping people. We're here to kind of guide them through an industry that they don't know anything about.
Yeah.
That plays a big factor, is their lifestyle choices a lot. Yeah.
Do you do a lot of like continuing education, or like do you do like any research or try new products or like anything like that?
Yeah. So I'm a little skincare enthusiast of my own. I do love trying new products. It is a little tough because I do have more on the sensitive side. So I try to kind of gear towards carefully trying new products.
I know I'm always so scared to try new products.
Yes. Yeah. Because you're never sure if you're going to break out. You're never sure of anything.
It's like, okay, I know these are good. Like, I don't want to like stray away from it.
That's why I always tell people, if you're going to try a new product, try one at a time. Like, you never want to switch your whole product, like a whole skincare routine, because your skin's going to freak out. Like, your skin's not made to have 20 different ingredients on it all of a sudden. That just does not make sense.
And then you don't know like what is causing like an issue. Exactly. Like, if you're using all these new stuff, it's like, oh, I don't know which.
I don't know what to stop. I don't know what to keep going. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, totally. So we have some rapid fire questions.
We did
not send them to you. We love doing this. It's our favorite thing. So just whatever comes to your mind.
Okay.
You can just...
Let's go.
Let's see. Okay, there we are. Okay, first one. Some are serious, some are fun, some are off topic. But,
okay.
So if you had a blank check, what would you do with the money?
What would I do with the money? Oh, that's so hard. Wow. If I had a blank check, I would make it out. This is sinking so deep into it. Immediately, I was like, I need a logical plan. I would make it out to myself, not my business.
Ooh,
because it just feels like I should keep it as a personal fund, not my businesses, just in case something happens. And then I'd probably like, I'm a very family oriented. So the first thing, I wasn't going to spend it on my business. The first thing, I was probably just going to split it up and give it to my family.
Nice.
An exorbitant amount, but. Since we're talking business, I would write it out to my business, and I'd probably get like a hydrofacial machine. Honestly, I would probably splurge on some big technology machine for my studio.
Cool.
Very cool.
Love it. What is your favorite skincare product? So you have to pick one.
Oh my goodness, that's so tough. I think one of my favorite skincare products is probably oh my god, it's such a long name, I'm forgetting it.
Which part of the routine is it?
It's a night cream.
Okay.
They just changed the name. It used to be called the C12 brightening night cream, but now it's like the Power Bright Night Repair from Dermalogica. Ooh. It smells like tropical, and it is so brightening, and that is my favorite thing, because I suffer from a lot of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, where an acne spot gets like dark after. So I use a lot of brightening products. So that is one of my favorites right now. That is my go-to.
What does success mean to you?
Success to me means being happy, having my needs met, and I think that's it. Yeah, being happy and having your needs met. That's kind of like the two most important things. It's successful.
That's fair. What is one part of your skincare routine you will never skip?
Moisturizer and sunscreen. moisturizer, and sunscreen. Those are number one signs of like going to be the leading cause of aging is you're not moisturizing your skin, you're not giving it a proper sealant, and you're not protecting your skin from anything if you're not putting SPF on. You got to do it.
Yep. What advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
Oh my God.
This is always a fun one.
Oh my God. The first thing that came to my head was break up with him. And
That's
then,
what Margot said.
like, because I have to say, like,
the trauma of 18-year-old relationships.
Genuinely, because this goes back to like me starting my business. When I started my business, I was with the guy who I was with from a lot of my high school, and he was never my number one supporter. You have to have people around you that are your supporters, that will that want you to achieve, like whether or not it's in their plans for you to achieve, it has to be in yours. So like if you have people surrounding you that are not like your number one fan, and to have a boyfriend that's not your number one fan, that's crazy. That's crazy. So dump them, leave them. Anybody that's not supporting you, leave them. That's it. And now I have a great support system. Like that's great. It's crazy to me at like when I first started my business that like I considered closing it. There were a lot of times where I doubted myself to the point where I don't think I could do this. I don't want to keep doing this because exactly, it's discouraging. There's a lot of times where you feel like just run down. You're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to get a regular job. I just want to get the paycheck.
Oh my
but
gosh,
it's like
the amount of times I've said that.
And it's kind of like you have to have people around you that are saying, why are you saying this? Like just yesterday you were happy with what you're doing, so why are you saying this? You have to have people that will get you back in the game, honestly.
It's so true. There's a lot of highs, which when you're on a high, it's like, ooh,
it's like why would I ever want to stop this?
And then you hit a low and it's like you doubt yourself and you like forget why you love it and stuff like that. But yeah, it's so true. You really need like a good support system and people who are like have your back and like have your best interests in mind, or not like envious, like really like that's great. I love that. Biggest skincare myth.
Biggest skincare myth. Ooh. Biggest skincare myth.
Instagram is probably like flooded with
that was my first thing.
Or like TikTok.
I feel like right now there's a lot of like, I want to say the biggest DIY myth. Well, I guess that DIY products are, I guess, bad. It depends on what you use. I'll be honest. But no lemon acid. I'll just say no lemon juice on your face. Please don't do that.
People are putting lemon on their face.
It's crazy. The stuff I see on TikTok is don't listen to TikTok advice. What was the question again? Now I'm all confused about thinking about lemon juice on people's faces.
I don't even know.
Biggest like misconception.
Biggest skincare myth. Yeah.
What is a DIY product, by the way? Is that like you make your own concoction, you put it in your face?
Like some people I'll use like brown sugar and olive oil is like a body scrub. Like that's really nice because I can make it at home. It's really nice. But like there's people mixing like lemon juice and sugar. Like I saw somebody like, oh my God, that's who it was. It was Shania Twain. Shania Twain on Harper's Bazaar put out a video. Oh my God, I like cringed to my bones. She is in a bathroom and she has like a lemon and a packet of white sugar. I'm like, oh my God.
Is she making a crepe or something?
Putting it on her face. She mixes it in her hand. She goes, this is how I remove my makeup. And then shoves like...
Bella Thorne did this too.
I'm like, what is... You guys have all the money in the world. Why are you using lemon juice and white sugar? Oh my God. That is like, don't listen to celebrities. Don't do it.
And it's so hard not to get influenced. Like someone will be like, this product cleared my skin.
Yes. And I'm like, you already had perfect skin. Yeah. Like that's... You cannot listen to people online.
Everyone's different. You can't just like... Yeah. I've definitely...
I teach a lot. Like I tell all my clients, like look at ingredient lists, like figure stuff out, take the time and like just learn a couple of the words, because once you know a couple of the words, like it kind of like just makes sense to you. Like a big tip is that when you're looking at any ingredients, like any box of ingredients, now I'm nervous that I'm doubting myself. I'm pretty sure legally they have to write in order of like a percentage. Yes, concentration. Yeah. So whenever you're looking at an ingredient, if you're looking for like a hyaluronic acid serum, a niacinamide serum, just turn around the box and check to see where that falls on the ingredient list, because you want to get the most bang for your buck. I think a lot of people have a misconception, that you have to spend a lot of money for really good skincare. There are some brands that can meet your price point with good ingredients. That's the biggest thing, is just check out your ingredient list.
Yeah, I think there's such a big push for like medical skincare and all that, which it's great. Like, I'm sure it's great, but like not everyone can afford like $100 moisturizer.
I also
like,
think a lot of people don't know that that's a buzzword.
Yeah.
A lot of the time medical is a buzzword, natural, organic, all of those are buzzwords. So a lot of the time, like just going to the ingredients, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, because medical skincare, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense unless you're doing some type of chemical peel that peels too deep for us as estheticians to go. That's just skincare.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I agree. I almost skipped one. Mineral sunscreen versus chemical sunscreen.
All depends on your skin type.
Okay.
That's what I think a lot of people don't know, is that very sensitive people, like people with rosacea, any type of inflammation on the skin, tend to have a reaction to chemical SPF because it absorbs into the skin, and that chemical can inflame their skin. So if you have more rosacea skin, if you have inflamed skin, if you have type of irritation,
or like acne.
Not necessarily acne. No, acne, it kind of, this really depends on like the sensitivity level of the skin, because you'll feel a slight tingling almost. You'll feel a lot of more irritation from that.
Okay.
But the mineral is different, as I believe, doesn't absorb, it layers onto the skin. So it has a protective layer.
Okay.
Different than the sensitive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a lot of the time, mineral does have almost that white casty look.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the brand and what you're looking for. That plays a big factor.
Makes sense. Do you have a favorite sunscreen?
My favorite sunscreen, I love the Prisma Protect from Dermalogica. That's a very moisturizing, glowy SPF. It's an SPF 30, so it's a little on the lighter side.
And that's mineral or
I believe it's a chemical.
Okay.
A mineral one is the Invisible Physical Protection. That one is really good. It's also from Dermalogica.
Okay.
It does have a little bit of a thicker feeling to it, but it is a really nice, just overall I don't want to say moisturizing, because it is a little bit thicker.
Okay.
But it does have that good sealant, that good layering.
Nice.
Those are my top two.
Nice. Who is your biggest inspiration? It could be like someone you know, or just like celebrity, or really anyone, I guess.
My biggest inspiration. I want to say, currently I'll say like an inspiration of mine right now from the music industry, I'll say, is Chappell Roan. Love her, because she's had a crazy climb to where she is now. She just performed at, I'm like a little stan. She just performed at Coachella, but she's been 10 years in the making, and now she's finally performing at Coachella. Like,
that's incredible.
She said in her interview with I can't remember who it was with, but she said it was a million baby steps to become an overnight sensation. Like, everybody sees her all of a sudden. Who is this girl? She's on Coachella. But it's like, she's been here for a while. And it's all about, like we talked about, not giving up. It's all about just finding your own path and making your own way to where you want to be and where you feel happy and successful.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is funny to like artists from when they're like just starting off, and then like everyone jumps on them, and you're like
they've been here.
Yeah.
It was cool because my friends do give me credit. My one friend was like, you showed me her, and I was like, I know. Yeah, she's great. You guys should listen to her. She's awesome.
Yeah, I'll have to check her out. This question is best skincare product on a budget, but I kind of want to have you like just like a few step skincare on a budget routine, like for someone that like might not have a lot of money. Like, what would be like a nice little routine, like simple? I guess everyone's different, but like if you had to recommend a product from like each category.
Okay, so from each category, this is tough. Like in brands and stuff.
Or however specific you want to get, or if you know like products off the top of your head, or just certain brands.
Okay.
Or if you just want to pick a product, I'm like making you.
How about I think it'd be easier if I said like necessary steps. Like if you're building a skincare routine, this is where you should start.
If you're a boy, and you have nothing, what would you tell them to get?
Should you go? I think so. Always start, like, your building blocks of skincare should always be your cleanser, your moisturizer, and your SPF. Those are three things. You want to have your way to get off the dirt and debris of the day, a way to seal in the moisture that you're getting and that's already in your skin, because throughout the day we go through something called TOOL. It's transepidermal water loss. We basically just evaporate water because we're humans. We lose water throughout the day. So adding a a proper protection onto your skin can help you tremendously with just your hydration.
Okay.
And then an SPF, because I think people underestimate the power of an SPF. It helps with acne, it helps with dark spots, it helps with texture, it helps tremendously with just protecting your skin and allowing it to be working at its healthiest point.
Yeah.
I think those are 3 important building blocks. And then from there, you would add in your exfoliation. That's when you would start kind of exfoliating off all that dirt and debris and getting off all that gunk that sits throughout the day. And that could be like a once a week. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. And then after that, that's when you start really kind of honing your skincare routine. That's after you get those 4 base blocks, you'll add in your serums, the things that you want to focus on a concern specifically. Those are a lot of people find that, at least I find that a lot of people come in and they're just using a general hydration serum.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't notice that they can be using a brightening one. They can be using an acne one. They can be using a lot of different serums, even 2 different serums in the day. Like it's all about what concerns you need for your skin. And then from there, you would add in your night cream. You would go a little deeper, but it's all about developing and what fits your routine. Because if you don't, I know a lot of people who don't wash their face like in the morning. They use a toner in the morning, which is a-okay if you've got a clean pillowcase. And I find that I'm a little different than a lot of estheticians, where I kind of work with the person. I find that I'm not going to tell you, no, you can't do that. Like, I'm not your boss. I want you to have a comfortable life and great skin. So it's like, if this is something I'm telling you will help you, you can do it or you cannot do it. But I think you should do it. You know, I'm not gonna be angry or like, why would you not do that? You know, like, just make the right choices. You know, add in the night cream, add in the day cream, and just figure out what works best for you.
Love it. That's great. And then the last question is, what is your biggest goal for 2024? That could be personal, business, like literally anything.
Ooh, my biggest goal for 2024. I don't know. I think my biggest goal for 2024 would be I'm just going to use the word expand. I don't know what it means yet, but it's coming to my head, and I feel like that's going to be a good word.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm going to expand.
Cool.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, I guess let everyone know where they can find you. So if you have a website, Instagram, address, so you have email, like literally anything.
Yeah, so you can find me at, I'm not going to, well, I guess I'll say the phone number. It's my personal phone number, but it's also my business phone number. Don't do that. If you're starting a business, don't do that. Get another phone. Just get a Google phone number, do something. My business is Glow by Laurel. I'm located in East Hanover, New Jersey. You can find me at, you can call me or text me at 973-876-4781. My website's glowbylaurel.com. My email is glowbylaurel@gmail.com. And my Instagram is glow.by.laurel. If the girl with Glow by Laurel wants to give it up, I'll pay you $20, please. And that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you guys for coming in. This was so fun. Thank you for dealing with my nervousness.
No, that's okay. Probably almost all of our guests get nervous in the beginning. It is not natural to talk into a microphone. We still get nervous.
Yeah, you guys made it very easy. Thank you.
I'm glad. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. You gave a lot of great info.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.